kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Can't twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just treat your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're gentle in wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're gentle in wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to VP4TV. Welcome back to Larry. He's in this week in Friday Night 9 Ball. We don't have a full house. At the last time of checking, we had 12 in. Again, the weather over here has been great. Today, the forecast for next week is to be great again. So, and it's to get a bit warmer, I think, according to the forecast. So, people are going to be out and about in the good weather, make the most of it. It might be our summer. We never know. I'll do a quick refresh. I think we'll get more again. Let's have a look. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're 2 short, which is not bad. Well, we might miss the start of the matches because I'm just going to do a quick check here. We'll see who's playing who and pick out what we think's the better match to watch. Just going to do a quick update. Let's look at the bank pool. Bank pool Virtual World Championship. We have 2 matches in the schedule, and we have Stubb Real Polling Power against Bedhead, which is going ahead at 10 PM tonight. So Friday Night 9 Ball more than likely will still be on at that time. I won't be covering this match because it's starting too late for me. It is in the winner's side, so it's a race to 6. So hopefully, the problem for Slim is Slim's in Friday Night 9 Ball. So if Slim goes all the way, he's going to have to make a decision whether he wants to stay in Friday Night 9 Ball and win it, or whether he wants to bail out and cover Stubb and Bedhead. We'll leave that up to him. I've got a match on Sunday night, Sunday evening at 7:30. That'll be Albinario against Cobra, again on the winner's side. So that's the matches on the bank pool. The snooker, last time I checking, there's nothing on the schedule there. We'll just have a quick double check, and it's still got nothing. So Friday Night 9 Ball brackets will be up. Let's have a look at what we've got. And obviously there'll be a bye in that. And this time Larry's back at the top of the bracket. It's Larry against John Boo. John Boo getting a handicap. We've got Stefan against Vertigo Liquid. LS3 gets a bye. We've got Monte Cristo. I don't know whether I've ever seen that name in a tournament, and I don't know whether he's in the lobby. But he's going to get maybe a painful start, although he's getting, I think, 7 and out against Spectre Dawn. We've got Keezer against Old Man Bob. I think Keezer was the guy that was upset at some of the things I was saying, either about him or somebody else. But he's back. We've got no, he's playing Old Man Bob. We've got Sergresh against Wenny. We've got Slim with a bye, and we've got Bankster against Camden. So the match that we're going to cover is that one there, right at the top, Larry and John Boo. Welcome to Cobra, welcome to Slim, welcome to Popman and anybody else that's there. So, John Boo's already won the first rack, and he's getting the 5 ball against Larry, which again is a dangerous handicap. Larry has been taking a break for the last couple of weeks, and that's going to cut away. And again, the mistakes made at the wrong time by Larry. John Boo may well have to go across the table twice here to get on that 4 ball. Oh, he's trying to dink this in to hold it. Well, it almost hung up there, but he's okay. Now he needs to get out into the table. Needs to hit this. And that's well done. And again, that's what happens when you make mistakes at the wrong time and you're given the 5 ball. You're going to end up getting punished severely. So 2-0 to John Boot. That's the perils of the 5 ball money ball. I don't think any of them in. The 7 balls hanging. And straight away Larry has got a problem. He's got a tough enough cut in the 1. And he's got to hope he hits something here. And he hasn't. He's went right into the gap. Now, how does the bank look for the 2? It's a bit tightish on the left side, but most of the pocket's there. And that was well done. And hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. So Larry needs to just stop the cue ball. I think he should. I mean, he could roll. It's too straight, so he's got to probably. He's trying to roll it dead weight, but he needs that angle on the 8, just so he can get up table. Now that might be quite tight, that 8 ball. So he should be off and running. And again, loads of movement here, but I don't think anything went in, did it? Oh, aye, 7 balls disappeared. I never even saw that go. So, John Boot, well, again, that's poor from Larry. He should have went around and a look at where that 1 ball was going, because he was trying to nail John Boo there. That's just a bit lazy from Larry. He should have got round and had a look at that and make sure he got the angle to get that 1 ball through there and out. But John Boo's let him off the hook. It wasn't an easy cut in that 2 ball. And of course that's what John Boo has to do, that when he does get chances he has to take them, and then he's under pressure to maybe pull out some difficult pots, which is what might let him down, and it might let him down in this rack here. He's given Larry a chance to bail out here and steal this second rack, and it could have went against Larry there had that 2 ball gone in. So we're going to be all square. Well, I definitely saw the 5 ball going in there, and something else went also. Not tell a lie, it wasn't a 5 ball, it was a 3 ball. No, it was a 3 and a 5. The 5 comes back up because that's John Boo's money ball. And this is tight. I think Larry's done himself here. Yeah. He's got himself in trouble. Well, I would expect he would be. I would expect him, I mean, it's a suitable time for Steve unless he's going to be at his dinner at that time. I would love to watch it, but it's just too late. So John Boot gets himself back into the lead. And Larry getting himself hooked, got himself in trouble again. And as long as John Boot keeps getting enough chances, there's going to be enough there for him to cause an upset here. Larry, of course, a bit cold. Well, pretty much so. Larry is cold every Friday when he comes in, because he really doesn't, from what I see, and unless he's on at times when I'm in bed, I don't see Larry playing an awful lot of VP4. He tends to come in for Friday night 9-ball. It's on at 10 o'clock tonight. That's when it starts, way past your bedtime, Mark. But you know, what needs to happen is Slim needs to lose in Friday night 9-ball early on, so that he can cover it. that way I'll get to see it, or I'll see it tomorrow anyway when I get home. Now 3-ball is the problem. Now there is the angle in the 2 to come across the short side of the 3. It won't go past the 6, and Larry hasn't got there. I do believe he was trying to get the short side, and he got it too narrow as well. He needed to go wider to the left as we look. So now he's having to play a safety, and that looks not too bad. Easy jump escape. So Philip Schofield, I mean, who's going to employ him? That's the question, because from what's happened in the past and over a long time in the past, anybody who ends up in some sort of scandal like that and loses their job in television, they're generally unemployable. Nobody will want them. So he might have had his time in the limelight, and that'll be him gone. Well, John, we just got the little touch on that 9 there. It's a dodgy cut in the 4, but if he can hold the cue ball, then that's well done. And he's going to be 4-2 up. So Larry's in a bit of trouble again. 2-0 down to start with. Got himself back in it with a little bit of help from John Boot. Now, I think the 9-ball went in there. It's come back up. Does he know anything about pool snooker? He could stream VP4. Who are you talking about, Slim? What, Philip Schofield? I don't know what he's talking about. Well, he's certainly got plenty of free time in his hand, I'll tell you that. So John Boot, well, he's on the 3. He'll do well to have a shot in the 4, but he needs to try and keep that cue ball at this end of the table. And that was excellent. that was well done. He's perfect in the 4. And just needs to get across the table. I don't know whether he wants to try and get across far enough like that for the 5 on the side. And suddenly it's going to be 5-2. Aye, that's a good one. Oh, aye, all the Philip Schofield jokes will be coming out. Yeah. Joseph in his Technicolor raincoat. Pervy style. But have you watched any of Eamon Holmes' interviews that they've done in GB News? You want to watch that, Mark? Some of that's interesting. And Carol McGiffin got interviewed as well. I mean, there's no doubt there was lies and cover up. The lies was from him, but the cover by the bosses at ITV Daytime. There's pretty much no doubt about it. I mean, what Carol McGiffin said was that once they found out about Philip Schofield and his young boyfriend, who worked on This Morning, who got a job on This Morning, once they found out about that business, they decided to, in quotes, promote him. And they sent him over to work as a runner. That wasn't the job title they gave him, according to Carol McGiffin. But there was already a runner on Loose Women, and they got rid of that one to make a space for him to move over from This Morning. So, all sorts of shenanigans going on. Oh, there's all sorts of perverse stuff going on. And then, of course, the one thing that really pissed off Eamon Holmes and his wife was the fact that they were on that programme in the morning, on This Morning, when Philip Schofield was making his announcement, his so-called announcement, and Eamon said it was a bit weird that the two bosses from ITV Daytime were present in the studio at the time. It was also even weirder that a representative of the Sun newspaper was there. And then, of course, once everything hit the fan, Eamon had worked it all out. What I know would have happened is the Sun newspaper would have got a hold of Philip Schofield and said, "Listen, we've heard all sorts of rumours about what's been going on with you and this boy. Now you're either going to come out with it or whatever, and or we're going to print it. You can tell us sell us your story." And basically that's what he did. He sold it to the Sun, and part of the sham, which Eamon Holmes and his wife are really annoyed about, is this I'm gay rigmarole and performance that he gave with Holly that morning, and they're coming on to support him and all that crap. He says they're really embarrassed at watching that. Anyway, that's enough of that. It's all crap. It just makes headlines, but it's ruined his career for a start. So anyway, John Boo on the hill. Look at that 5-ball, and I think Larry was trying to knock that one onto the 5 to get rid of it, and John Boo might have some sort of crazy idea here in a second or two. Well, obviously he's going to have to play a combo, but if he gets this and keeps the 2 handy, well, that isn't necessarily handy, because I think it's almost nailed to rail, but he's got it. And he's going to have to produce one more good shot here, and he's taking Larry down. And there you go, game, set and match. 5-ball hanging over the pocket. The only daft thing he'll do is scratch. And he's not doing that. So, in the end, a comfortable win for John Boo. 7 racks to 2. Danger with a 5-ball. Good evening to Spectre. So, I think that's our first result in the match. That the night. What time's that? That was barely 20 minutes, and it's all done and dusted for John Boo. There's another one come through. Sergresh has gone through. Comfortable win against Wenny, and so I'll do a quick change of the timing that to get this to update a bit quicker. So we've got John Boo through, waiting on the winner of Stefan and Vertical Liquid, and LS3's waiting on the winner of Monte Cristo and Spectre Dawn, and Spectre Dawn is 5. Let's go in and watch that, because I've never seen whoever this Monte Cristo is. Let's see, where's Monte Cristo from? According to that, Germany. And Monte Cristo, how do you get rid of that logo? Oh, there we go. Monte Cristo is getting 7 and out, but Spectre Dawn now on the hill. And that definitely seems dry. Now look at where the 9-ball's gone, bottom right hand corner pocket. So anything bumped onto that 9 at the right angle will send it into the hole. Monte Cristo, hard to tell whether that was an attempted pot or a safety. Probably the pot. And I think there might be the gap here. Well, there is an edge, but the problem with the edge is the wrong edge. It's pushing this 1 ball over towards the pocket if you get it really thin. And that's going to scratch, I think. Yeah. And the 1 ball's gone in. Now, Spectre Dawn has ball in hand to try and run the table, which I think is not that easy. 6 balls a bit awkward, and the 5 balls up the top of the table, so he's taking the opportunity with the 2-9, and that seals that deal. So Spectre Dawn goes through, and we will have the round 2 match between Spectre Dawn and LS3, so that's the one we're going to watch next. We've got 1 pocket slim still waiting on the winner of Bankster and Camden. And Camden is 5-3 up. Again, getting a dangerous 5-ball with the look of that. So, our next match is the one with LS3 and Spectre Dawn. We'll get in. LS3's obviously had to wait for 20 odd minutes. And we're just waiting to Spectre Dawn, and I'll have a quick drink. I've got my reserve bottle here because this one's just about to run out. So LS3 on the right hand side. That looks far too heavy from Spectre Dawn. So LS3 wins the lag. And scratch match, no handicap. I think it's dry, and straight away Spectre Dawn has got a table that, provided he gets good in the 2, left it a wee bit short, but again loads of room to get on the 3, and this should be his problem shot in the rack. if there is going to be one. Now he's going to maybe have to pinch a little angle here. I think the problem is that the 5-ball could be an issue if he was trying to get. He was trying to dink across. He's gone short of the 5-ball, and that's perfect. That was the only danger, that when he was coming out, he could have easily rolled behind it. Well, that's on the 50-yard line, that cue ball. Now it's a bit tricky. Looks as if he's going bottom right hand corner pocket as we're looking. Nope, he's going the other way now. And that's pretty good. Wee bit of the bedhead about this cut, but again, loads of room to get on the 7 in multiple pockets. Now this is running at a nice pace. It needs to just slow up. It's just a wee bit so easy to catch the point of the pocket here when you're cutting this. But you made sure. So again, it's a solid start for Spectre Dawn. Although that wasn't great. Not very good at all. A proper blind pocket cut, this 9-ball. But again, never a doubt apart from the scratch. Oh, there we go. That was so close. In fact, it was so close, as soon as the cue ball just stopped rolling, bang, straight into the next racket. You were unsure whether that actually scratched you. But it stayed in the table. Well, balls flying in all over the place here. Well, it's going to be a short rack, this one. The 3-ball's gone, 6, 7 and 8-ball have gone. He's on the 1, and the cue ball's coming in the right path to get back onto the 2. So again, this is the only tricky shot in the rack, this first shot in the 1-ball here. Well, too close to the rail for comfort, but just roll the 2 in, go through onto the side rail and back out, and get a decent line in the 4. And well, that's fine. To probably, well, again, you could stun it in and drag off it like that. And there's not much LS3 can do, and not much anybody can do when this is happening. You just have to sit and bide your time and hope you get a chance. But what it does do is it makes it even more emphatic, the LS3, that if she gets a shot, she can't be going messing it up and throwing it away and throwing it back at Spectre Dawn. She's got to put it away. Five ball goes in, 1 ball goes in. And there we go again, shot in the 2. And, well, this rack's over also, I'm afraid. As far as LS3 is concerned. She might not get a shot. Could be one of those matches. Well, if Spectre Dawn's just going to go straight up and down, you could end up on top of the 7 ball, which is what you don't want. See, he's coming up like that, and he's just going to go past it. That was the only other danger there, going straight up and down, and the line ended up right, or the cue ball ended up right on top of the 7. But he just skimmed past it far enough. And it's 3-0, I'm afraid. LSE hasn't put a foot wrong because she's not had a chance to. Six ball goes in. Right on the 1 ball. 2 balls right in the middle of the 5 and the 4. It goes clean. And this is rack number 4 on the board. Now he just needs to come off that 2. He doesn't want to nudge the 4. He needs to come off it clean. Not go too far though. And there's a mistake. So the mistake has come and the 3 ball is on. And LS3 has got to deliver. Wee bit of, don't know whether she put any side on it, but it was well away from the 7 ball anyway. So of course it would be nice if you're LS3, that is, that you could respond in a similar fashion here. Take out this rack from the unforced error of Spectre Dawn and get a break, a ball and a shot in the follow-up. That's really what she wants. Well, that's what everybody wants, but probably more important against somebody like Spectre Dawn. So how's your luck? Well, there's your answer. Nothing doing. And what's more, she could be in a whole heap of trouble here in a second. I don't know what Spectre Dawn's looking at, but certainly ducking away there, and you know that was really poor. Really poor. I mean, that's a dead set 1-6 combo for LS3, and she should have been buried there big time. I mean, to actually leave her a shot was a cardinal sin, apart from the way the shot was executed in the first place. But if Spectre Dawn's going to get a wee bit careless, LS3 won't be complaining as long as she can make the punishment and inflict it. Now, how's the 3 ball sitting? Sorry, not the 3, the 2. Well, cue ball's going to be leaking away here. Now, you could put left-hand English on this and try and bump into the 5. The thing is, if you miss the 5, you can end up hooking yourself in the 3. And that was well played. She came back the short side, played it very well. So the angle on the 4, I think you can go to the rail and go up the right side. You need to get off that cushion though. Well, this might just be a dead weight roll because it might be too straight this 5. There's a slight angle, but I don't know that you want to go to the rail. You just want to leave a decent straight in 7, because if you go to the rail and go forward, you're going to end up inside the 7. So this cue ball has to move a bit here though. It's going to have to go, well, again, it's been checked with loads of English to straighten up rather than let it run around angles. And this is one of these little draggy shots. You could go around a corner and out like that, or you could drag it back. So the punishment has been administered by LS3 from a very careless attempted safety by Spectre Dawn, and suddenly she's back in the match. Still trailing by 1 though. Six ball goes in, 7 I think went in also, and that 1 ball, well, it does go. I mean, it's tight, but it does go. There is most of the pocket there. Well, when you think about it, the 8 ball actually is pretty much like the point of the pocket. It's tight, but it will go in off the far jaw, and you'll be unlucky not to see the 2. And it just caught the edge of that 8, but there's not a lot left on. There's a long combo on the 1-2, but Spectre Dawn is looking for the safety. But again, he's left LS3 staring right down in the 1. Now the bank is not great, so what's she going to come up with? Well, the bank is great. That was well made. My eyes can't tell a good bank from a bad bank, but that was well done. Oh, little boy Blues arrived in the house. That needs to keep rolling. Now, well, this is just a little roll in, so you're right beside that 8 ball. Well, I would have much preferred being inside the 8 ball. Maybe it's just me. I would have much preferred being on the rail and cutting this up table like this. You've got to watch the cue ball on the side, and it's well controlled. So LS3 will be quite happy. She's now well back in it, 3 apiece. And it was looking doom and gloom there with Spectre Dawn off and running. Then he missed that 3 ball in the 4th rack. And then he made a very poor safety, and that's given LS3 the chances. But she's not come up too good here, I don't think. On the 1 ball, you can only see the edge of it. Bankster has gone through in a final rack decider against Camden. Old man Bob has done likewise against Keyser. Oh, that'll do. That'll do as a good roll. And yet another result through. Vertigo Liquids taking down Stefan. And Spectre Dawn has come up with a good reply here. I mean, not a difficult problem to hit the one. Just got to watch how you hit this one, because you easily scratch off it. And she caught the top side of it, and cue ball almost scratched the other pocket. But again, the end result is satisfactory. There's nothing doing there. 8 balls a blocker. So a whole pile of results have came through. And well, Spectre Dawn has pushed the one towards the 8. And I don't think anything is on here, because the one is too close to the 8 to try and play a little billiard off the one onto the 8. You're simply going to push the 8 into the rail. I don't think that's on. So now we're going to get a wee bit of tactical stuff here. Well, that's not got the cover, and this time can Spectre Dawn see enough of the one to actually play the combo? He doesn't fancy it. He's looking at other. Maybe he's looking at the line of the combo, because it's very tight. No, he didn't think he could get the combo, so he's just trying to kick. But now there is a chance. Oh, hang on a minute. And that's what she didn't want. Hooked straight on. Well, she's going for the jump. I don't like this. This looks too close. Well, what do I know about jump shots? But she's certainly not jumping this one. Just cannot get the roll of the ball now, just when she needs it. And, well, I think if that had missed that 9, it may well have gone in. And it's very tight. He's trying to just tweak it a little bit. It will go that way. Well, it's a tough 4 ball. Good evening to Tam. Yeah, Stub and Slim have got the psychological battle going on in the chat. Well, it's going to have to be the bank up and down. This is too wild of a thin cut to try and cut it in. I think he's got to go for the bank. It's pretty much a dead bank every day if you get the line right, and that isn't the right line. Now he needs it to roll, and again getting away with it. Is there an edge there? No, there isn't. Well, this is another little tricky one. It's not on the rail, but you've just got to get it flush. Any slight push to that rail too soon, and it won't go in. And it did come off the rail, but it stayed on line long enough to catch that far jaw. So it looks as if Spectre Dawn is going to retrieve the situation here and get back the lead. So into rack number 8, Spectraton, I think, has come up dry. Dry but nothing doing. I mean, you could go for the crossover bank into the left side pocket. I think that's a possibility. I don't like the look of that either. And that 9 is pretty much on the point, so the combo's not on, but of course it's just a clean pot now. The one, well, where the 9's been nudged to makes it a bit awkward. And it's going to have to be, he's going to just have to get the cue ball into the gap. He's overcooked it. It would have been a 3-4 combo clearly, but he just overhit that. Now, sometimes if you slam at the back of the 3, the cue ball can run onto the 4 and pot it. I would have probably tried that, because, you know, very often if you kick a ball that's closest to the rail at either end of the table, the cue ball can come off it the wrong way and get into the pocket. Now, I'd be hoping to do that, but nudge the 4 in the process. It's sort of 70-30 against that's going to happen. And LS3 certainly didn't want the 8 ball to go in there because she's played a decent safety. And now she's going to get her chance. Little delicate 3-8 combo. Just keep the 3 ball adjacent to the pocket. This shouldn't be all that difficult to do. And just overcut this 3 ball so the cue ball's going along the top rail. If you overcut it into this left hand side of the pocket, you see that the only danger with that was going too far into the knuckle, but the angle's fine, everything's good. This isn't particularly good. This is too straight, so now you've got to take your medicine and just kill the cue ball stone dead. Well, she looks like she's going forward. I think stone dead, it'd have been straight up into that corner pocket. This is now a slight cut into the side. The cue ball's running at the wrong angle on the 7. It's running up the table into the sort of bedhead territory here. And is that going to get there? It just got there. That was well played. But now the tough one's coming. This 9 ball, got to get some left English on this to get right into the rail. And that's as good as you'd expect. But you've got to hit this pure because it's nailed to the rail. This to square the match. And you see how much it wanted to run away there. But again, it just caught the far jaw. So 4 apiece. But no follow-up. And no shot for Spectraton either though. So it may well be the push out. Now the question is, what's a good push out? Certainly not somewhere where you're giving LS3 an easy roll through in the 1 just to nail you to one of those balls there. That's what you don't want to do. So there's a wee bit of thought required here. And well, LS3 should still have Spectre Dawn in trouble. There's loads of covering balls there. It's all about a nice little touch. And that will do. He was always going to get something like that if you were leaving the cue ball down around this area of the table, and LS3 was getting a clean shot in the one, she could do something like this easily. And now Spectre Dawn is hitting and hoping here he gets a nice rollout, and he may well have got it. I don't know that there's enough of that one ball to do anything with it, but certainly you've got to get it thin, try and get in behind the 8. That's the plan here. Use the 8 and 6. But she's not hit it enough. It needed another ounce of running there, and it would have been good. Well, goodness knows what Spectre Dawn does here. It's just sitting in a funny spot, this one ball, and the fact that the 5 balls left of it, well, he looks as if he's going all out for the pot. Well, that was a good shot, and he's got rid of the 2. And if the 2 had stayed there, he'd had a much better chance of getting better than the 3. And now everything's looking good. That was a tough shot, the 3 ball. Perfect in the 4. And that's not bad in a 5. Again, you can just send this into the far side of the pocket just to get the cue ball running over to that far side. I mean, you don't necessarily need to try and jack up and draw this back. You can just let the cue ball roll through, but send the 5 into the left side of the pocket. He's dragging back. See, that the only slight problem with this is avoiding the 8 ball. I had to play it soft, avoid the collision with the 8. So now it's a wee bit of power to get this cue ball rolling through and back up. Well, you can just dink this in and still have the 9 up table. Spectre Dawn back into the lead. I think Stubb gets tired after typing, you know, a number of words, and then he kind of loses interest. That's the one good thing about him. When he does come in and he types bullshit, it doesn't last long, because I don't think his attention span lasts that long either. And he then just sort of disappears. Well, we've got a problem with the 9 ball in that it's right over the corner pocket, top left side, so this could be a quick rack. And it, well, luckily for LS3, she's got a roll of the ball here, because the 1 doesn't go, blocked by the 2, but it could be a bank up and down. Will it go past that too? It looks tight. Well, he's trying to roll onto it, and that will do. So now the pressure's on LS3 to first of all get the hit in the 1, and secondly not to leave the 1 going anywhere near the 9, so that it's just an easy roll on. Well, she's actually missed it completely. Well, she definitely had to hit the one there for a start to give herself a chance. But now it's just a simple roll on to the 9. And Spectre Dawn's got daylight. More importantly though, it's only one more he needs. Was this one ball going to land on top of the cue ball? Not really. Well, again a little testy cut or a bank up and down. Looks like the cut. So got to get off that side rail and back out clean. And again, it was well controlled. Well, it's looking likely that this is the end of the road early on here for LS3 in the winner's side, because this is a crucial one, is getting on the 4. But he's tried to be delicate and he's left the 3 hanging, and LS3 has a lifeline. This is really tricky. It's right in the pocket and you have absolutely no idea how to play this good, and that's as good as you can expect. So hard to judge how that cue ball comes out of that pocket. And Larry has taken out Stefan on the 1 loss side. Again, it went to the wire, and that 4 ball just dropped in. That needs to come out of there. This is tricky again. I think the voice is going. Need a drink. Oh dear, where's the cue ball going? The 6 ball wiped its feet, and this is a tough 8 ball. The pot itself's tough enough, but it's controlling the cue ball for that 9. I mean, it's just, again, the cue ball's in an awkward spot to jack up and just stun the 8 in up table and hold for the 9. And this could end up just being a dead weight rolling the 8 ball just to stop the cue ball leaking away too far. Now she's jacking up, which makes it even more difficult. And these are kiss off the 9, and there we go. Commentator's eye seen that one coming. But what a bonus that is. And LS3 gets the lucky roll at the right time. And back to within 1. That's a little bit of luck you need now and again. Just exactly at the right time. She's dead and buried there on that 8 ball. It was really tough. And she can't get the follow up again. Dry break. Push out from Spectre Dawn coming in a second, I would think. Unless he wants to dig out the jump stick, try something, an elaborate cut in this 1 ball. And that's well played. Unlucky though. Really unlucky. And LS3 has the chance. 4 ball is awkward. That's the problem. I mean, you can get to the 4 ball, but it's all hinging on how good you are in the 3 to be able to do that, and that's not bad. Now this is where you just need to have a look at where this cue ball's going. And is she giving herself enough room? Yep. In behind the 8 ball. And the only other tough shot is this one to get good in the 6 now. The most obvious way of doing this, and the angle she's got in the 5 is quite a bit, so you need a lot of right English if you're going forward to check this and come that way. And it needs to have the pace. The line looks good if it doesn't scratch, and that is perfect. If only that the cue ball's just, well, she's got enough room. It's a wee bit further from the rail than I thought. And, well, barring an almighty error here, we're going all the way. So that fluke on that 8 ball, the little billiard off the 9, has that turned the match in LS3's favour. Is she going to get a good break here? Because she's not really had much to follow up with. Still breaking from where the cue ball. No, she's not. She's going forward. I don't know whether she'd be doing that all night anyway. But 8 ball trying to go in. Cue ball's gone in though. And that's the ultimate disaster. Scratching in the break. Ball in hand was spectored on. And he could, with ball in hand, try and improve the situation here because he's bound to be on the 2. Let's have a look. Well, the 5-7 can easily be made, so problem is he played a combo there, didn't he? I think that's what he did. He played a combo and potted 8, but the 1 ball went dead to the rail. So that was a big enough mistake with spectored on, and now he's in trouble. Of course, there's room to jump over the 4 and hit the 1. That's not a problem. It's just how good your luck is after the collision. He'll take that any day of the week. Well, again, it needs a bit of left-hand side on the cue ball. And that will do it. I mean, you can hit the edge of the 1. You certainly can't pot that at that angle. Or can you? He's looking at it, but he's got to watch he can get away from this 9 ball. That's the problem also. Well, he could be in trouble here because there's a whole line of balls here. Just a little dink and a thin edge, but a bit of right hand spin possibly. Not too thick in the 1. Needs to miss the 3. And that was always the likelihood from that position. So once again, it's a fairly straightforward jump for spectored on, but can only hit the left hand side of the 1 ball, so no idea where things are going to finish. And again, it could have finished a lot worse than that. So John Boo marches on that winner's side. He's taken out Vertical Liquid, 7 racks to 2. And Keyser has taken out Wenny, but I can't see the score because my little clock thing is right in the middle of the screen. Yeah, that was a delicate cut into the side. But let's have a look. Is there enough of that one ball showing? Yes, there is. And there's the gap. But running into the 6 ball hasn't helped Spectre Dawn. And, well, it would be an ambitious combo from that distance on the 2-4. Well, that is not a great shot at all, because LS3 is going to snaffle this up. I mean, that was really, really poor again from Spectre Dawn. I don't know what he had in mind there, because all he did was make the combo easier for LS3. Now, the 2 ball clearly cuts into the top left. The cue ball's going up and down. I think you'd have to play this cut with a bit of left-hand English if you were going to do that. She's going to try and bank this up and down, or she's in 2 minds to do it. The problem with the thin cut from this side is you've got to get the pace in the object ball to get it across the pocket, and the cue ball is running up and down. But I'd still play a little bit of left on this to make sure I'm not taking any line into this corner pocket. Just a tiny feather. Now, if you get them down the table enough, you're bound to be on the 3 somewhere. Let's have a look. And she'll settle for that. She'll take that every day of the week. So this is just roll this in gentle enough so that you go through far enough to be good on the 5. You don't want to be short on the 5. You want to be through to about there. At least so that you can go forward and do something with the 6. Now, I haven't the foggiest idea what that was. That was awful. And one pocket slim has taken out Bankster by 7 racks to 3. I don't know who that is. Oh, there's Miasma as well. I never noticed Miasma was in the building. And Repetition, has he changed his name, or is he on Twitch tonight as opposed to YouTube? I don't know. So, I haven't a clue what LS3 was doing there, but that sold the match. I think Tin's busy working. I think that's basically it. You know, if his working hours aren't compatible with VP4, that's simply, well, he doesn't have the time to be here. Well, LS3 had a chance there, and I don't know what she was trying to do. I haven't a clue, but what I was describing and what you do it looked simple enough to me. But she obviously had something else in mind, and it completely backfired. So Spectre Dawn goes through in a tight match, 7 racks to 6. So we've had loads of results, and in the meantime, we've now got Spectre Dawn up against John Boo. We've got one pocket slim waiting on the winner of Old Man Bob against Sergeresh. Sergeresh is 5-4 up. There isn't a lot happening on the one-loss side of the look of it, but Larry's up against Bankster, so we're going to head into that. Bankster's up 1-0 as we join the room, but Larry looks very likely to be squaring it up here. Of course, it's the race to 4. Blinking, you'll miss it. And of course, Bankster, one of the more dangerous players, is getting a 6 ball. High ball goes in. No shot in the one. Well, Larry plays the push out now. Bankster, of course, not attempting the bank, but he's come up with a good safety. Not difficult to hit, of course, but difficult to get it safe. And Larry he'll be settling for that. Yeah, because he's obviously, he's a broadcaster. He's an experienced broadcaster, but he's got no bloody job now for the foreseeable future, if any. But you think about it. Philip Schofield's 61 years old. There's a lot of guys that age where they're in they maybe work in the city and they're earning a very good wage, and he's been earning a very good wage like that for years. So theoretically, at the age of 61, you could look at it as early retirement. He doesn't need to work the rest of his days. The mortgage will all be paid. If anything goes to court, he might have lawyer bills and stuff like that. But he doesn't need to work the rest of his days now, and he'll probably find it very difficult to get work. So I don't think he's got any worries financially. And then of course he's got the shame of his brother, who's a bloody pervert. So Larry needs to get up and good in the 3 ball. Plenty of room to get there. Well, the other thing is, if you listen to that interview with, oh dear, well, Larry's missed a straight in 4 ball, and that's a cardinal sin again when you're giving the 6 ball to Bankster, because all he has to do is dink the 4 ball in. He's not missing this, and put away the 6. The thing is, if you listen to Eamon Holmes in that interview, it's on YouTube on the GB News channel. If you listen to that interview, there's a lot of, and Eamon Holmes has had a lot of messages on his phone from former work colleagues who work behind the scenes this morning, and there's a lot of people are saying they're glad to see the back of him. Apparently, he wasn't the best person to work with. He was not a nice person to quite a few people behind the scenes. You can only go by his words and what he's saying that other people have said. So there's quite a few people who work with him aren't that upset that he's gone. But there's an independent. Well, I use the words advisedly. There's supposed to be an independent investigation in all of this thing, but you might not hear much that confirms anything different from it, though. I wouldn't hold your breath. And not that it really matters to you or I. At the end of the day, the guy's made an arse of himself, and he's paid the price for it. In this politically correct society, nothing against them fancying young boys, making a point saying that you know, he was underage when he first met him, and he didn't have a relationship with him until he was 20. You know, that covers any questions out of any sort of dodgy doings. But then he would say that, wouldn't he? And the only person that's no saying anything is the aforementioned boy that he get messing about with. And don't forget as well that people that work in these television programs, I think I heard it in one of the interviews, they all have to sign, what do you call it? What's the word? Disclosure. I don't know whether that's the right word, but they have to sign agreements that they'll keep their mouth shut when they leave these companies. Obviously, the Sun newspaper pays a lot better than that, because Philip Schofield sold his interviews to the Sun newspaper. So there you go. Not only has he just lost his job, but he's made another fortune by just selling his made-up story. That's how it works when you're at the high end of the broadcasting business, or you're in the public eye. You can easily sell your story. The embarrassment comes as nothing for a few £100,000. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. The thing also is that I mean, I sat and I thought a wee bit about it. Had Philip Schofield came on that morning, right, with Holly Willoughby, and they concocted this story, this script that he was to read, and the question she was to ask him. Had they done it the right way, he would have came on to that programme and he'd have said, "Listen, I've got myself involved with this guy, Holly, you know who he is. We're not naming him, but I've got involved with him, and it's forcing me to come out as gay and all of this stuff." It may well have all blown over had he done that there and then. So the actual coming out as gay was all a sham at the end of the day. Now, it doesn't matter that he is gay or he isn't gay. It's what he should have done at the time. He should have come out and said, "Listen, I've been messing about with this young boy behind the scenes here since he started working here, and I shouldn't have done it. It was unprofessional, blah, 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 blah. Forgive me, and we'll forget all about it." And it might have blown over, but he would be working on the advice of them that are his bosses. They don't want to lose sponsorship. There's Philip Schofield been dropped by a load of companies. I think he was a goodwill ambassador for whoever it was. That's going to scratch. So he's losing income because they don't want anything to do with him now. So I think if they'd done that the right way in the first place, it could have all blown over. Nobody's interested whether you're gay or no nowadays. It doesn't matter a damn whether you're gay or not. It's how they dealt with it, and they handled it pathetically. And heads will roll eventually. I can guarantee you that. Not only Philip Schofield, but them above him will be told, you're going to have to go because you didn't officiate over this whole scenario and deal with it in a proper way. Well, if the tabloids can't get a story, they'll make one up. Yeah, and all the background information will come out in the wash eventually. You've just got to be patient. It will all come out. More people will come out and say stuff. But what does it really matter? So anyway, back to the job in hand here. We've got Baxter 3-2 up and at the table and a chance to win this match here. although he's hooked with no shot and looking to play a push. And that wouldn't be where I'd be pushing Bankster. That was awful. That's the worst choice of a push out that you're going to see tonight, folks. Well, you know, it's amazing what comes out in these sort of stories. You know, that folk are saying he was, I wouldn't necessarily say he was nasty, but I think he was so sort of self-obsessed, as a lot of these people in this type of business are. You know, it's all about massaging their ego and doing everything that keeps them happy. So everybody's kowtowing, and you know, it's all Holly and Phil and all of this, and a good image for the program and all of that crap. Don't forget they had a weatherman on that program that was after the young boys as well. Don't forget that. He get jailed. Hang on a minute. Larry's just sold it down the river here. And it's hasta la vista, Larry. Well, Bankster been let off the hook big time. He plays the worst push out of the night. And then Larry, rolling the cue ball around the table, finds the pocket and gifts it to Bankster. So it's a 4-2 win for Bankster, and Larry's comeback. It didn't last long tonight. There's always next week. So we've got John Boo and Spectre Don going at it. We've got Old Man Bob against Slim, and Slim is 1-0 up in that match. We've got Keezer against LS3. I better not get into that room because I don't want to upset the guy, but LS3's up 2-0. This is a fella that doesn't like you stating the obvious about the way somebody's playing. The trouble is I'll state the obvious about the way somebody's playing, whether they like it or not, but I'm not getting into it. We'll go into this room with Slim. Yeah, this is one of these people that hasn't been in the stream that long, or you know, doesn't know what I'm like, but I'll say it as I see it, whether whoever's playing likes it or not. It's only my interpretation of what I'm seeing. I've said it 100 times, and most sensible people let it go in one ear and out the other. But if I see crap, I'm going to call it crap. Now, where's Bankster? Is he the stream? That was the worst bloody push out I've seen in a long time, Bankster. No, he wasn't. He was Spectre. He wasn't with Roland Rat. It was a bloody Gordon the Gopher he was with. Roland Rat was on TVAM. You've got to get your puppets right, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, I'm old enough to remember all of that in the broom cupboard when he was in there, but it wasn't Roland Rat, it was Gordon the Gopher. Well, I think Old Man Bob, if I'm right in saying, I think I played him in the 9-ball league. Well, I'll tell you something. That was one guy that I could not stand. That bloody Timmy Mallet. He was a pain in the arse. He's the type of guy you just want to smack in the mouth for the hell of it. No disrespect to him, but he was a bloody annoying arsehole. So he was. I could not stand him. So, Scratch. by Slim. Old Man Bob has a chance to get off the mark. And Old Man Bob is getting 7 and out. And that was the obvious thing you don't do. And I think Old Man Bob will do well to get a rack off Slim at this rate. Roland Rat saved that programme, so he did. Roland Rat was the best thing about it. I liked watching Roland Rat in the morning. And then the big breakfast was, what do you call those two other aliens? What were they called? Somebody will remember. Somebody will be young enough to remember them. What were they called? I'm sure they were on the big breakfast, weren't they? The two alien characters. What the hell were they called? No, the Teletubbies. Oh God, that's got me annoyed now. I'll have to keep thinking about what the hell they were called. But I'm sure it was the big breakfast they were on. Zig and Zag, that's it. No, there's John Woo. I knew somebody would know. Zig and Zag were good. They were funny. Yep, big breakfast on Channel 4. It says a lot about the television programme when it was a sort of news and current affairs and interview programme that the funniest things on it were puppets. And the best things to watch were the puppets. Like TVM, the best thing about it was bloody Roland Rat. And Zig and Zag was the best thing about the big breakfast. So Slim 4-0 up. And just a nice little cut in and a run up the table. And a nice little bump in the 7, perfect angle in the 6. Dink it in and come up high enough for the 7. Now, there was obviously a sort of kids program that was on, but this was when I stopped watching television. What was the name of that dog? There's a dog puppet that was quite a witty character, but I don't know the name of the dog. I'm not talking about Spit the Dog, but I'm talking about a program, the kids program that it was on. It was a time when the kids programs were all changing, and I don't know the name. It wasn't Spit the Dog. It was much later than Spit the Dog, but it was a puppet character that was a dog. And I've seen little clips of it, which is quite witty. But the best Saturday morning programme was by far Tiswas. That was the best thing that came on. Right at the start, all you had was that swap shop, and then suddenly Tiswas came along, and everybody shifted over to Tiswas. It was class. I remember everything from it. The Phantom Flan Flinger, you know, you had Lenny Henry doing his David Bellamy, Wapple Me Great Nuts and all that stuff. It was funny. Bob Carroll G, Spit the Dog. You had Big Daddy on it now and again. John Gorman? He used to be in the Scaffold. Them that had he's a poet, if I'm right in thinking. No, not John Gorman. The other guy, he was the poet. I can't remember his name. And of course, what's her name? Chris Tarrant's sidekick. That was the other main reason I used to watch it. Sally, what's her name? Can't remember her. Sally James. Yeah, that's why I watched it. That's why a lot of sort of dads would sit and watch Tiswas with the kids on a Saturday morning. They'd watch it for Sally James with her leather waistcoat on. See a bit of cleavage. Right, so Slim all but over here. 6-0 up. And old man Bob trying to get a consolation rack. He's going to get a chance at it. Kendo Nagasaki, Big Daddy. That was, you know, again, I'm fortunate that I'm a certain age where I used to every Saturday, you know, everything would drop for about, I think it would be maybe 4:30 on the World of Sport. It would go over to the wrestling, and you'd have giant haystacks. I remember it as far back as Mick McManus, Jackie Pallo. I saw Jackie Pallo wrestling in Blackpool when I was on holiday. The bout didn't last long because Jackie Pallo had to quit injured. But yeah, you had Mick McManus, Kendo Nagasaki. You had what was the name of the guy with the guy that wore the Union Jack trunks. I can't remember his name. Yeah, them were the days. But I guarantee you can watch all of that stuff on YouTube. That's the brilliant thing about the internet, is all the old stuff that you maybe have seen years ago and you haven't seen it for years. Just go to YouTube, you'll find it. It's all been uploaded. So, old man Bob got his consolation rack. Well, Slim's going to have to just tweak this around the corner and catch the one. Of course, I mean, I used to love It's a Knockout as well, and I used to love it, and I think everybody did, because of Stuart Hall going into Fit Style after. And then, of course, he's another one that's been shamed. But It's a Knockout, it was great. And then when it went international, Jeux Sans Frontières or whatever it was called, that was when all the countries came together. It was great. I used to watch Superstars as well. That was a sort of loads of different sportsmen coming together and doing different events. The cycle racing where Kevin Keegan skinned his back. The squat thrusts and all of that. Brian Jacks, the judo guy, he had the record for it. Oh aye. I mean, we're talking 40 odd years ago and more now. That was my television back in those days. Going to the youth club on a Thursday night, and the youth club finished just about 9 o'clock, and then running home to make sure I could get in and see the Sweeney when it was on in 75, I think it was. And we thought the Sweeney was brilliant back in those days. It still is brilliant. I still watch the repeats on ITV4. Pat Roach, that was another one. In fact, that's a strange thing. Pat Roach, who was in a Wiedersehen Pet, and he also had some bad guy parts in big films. He was a wrestler. There's another mistake from Slim, so old man Bob's got a chance to pinch another one back. You had Brian Glover, who also ended up being an actor, but he was a wrestler back in the day. So that was two fairly well-known British guys, and obviously in this country, who I don't know that they started off wrestling, but that's where you first saw them in television, and they both ended up being fairly popular actors, not leading actors, but good supporting actors. And you know, both of them, of course, are now gone. Oh, have you ever seen that film, Kes? Kes is a brilliant film just to see the football scene with Brian Glover in it. He thinks he's Bobby Charlton. That's a great clip to watch on YouTube. So Slim has let Bob off the hook here. It's a long way back for Bob, and it's going to be a tall order. But as long as Slim keeps giving him chances often enough, then he's never out of it. Right, so we've had a couple of results there. The top one I can't see again. I'm assuming that Monte Cristo left the building and that Sergaresh has won by forfeit. I can't read it. But LS3 has taken out Kiza by 4 racks to 2. And this time, Slim gets ball in hand to try and put this match to bed. I think he's got himself a bit straight in the 4 though. He's going to have to just spin that cue ball a little bit. And now he's an awkward angle in the 5 here. He's got to watch. That's why he's cutting into the side, because he would want to go forward, but the side pocket's in the way. And loads of right hand English to check the cue ball away from the 6. That was well done. Still give himself a cut. So just a reminder to all my viewers, of which according to YouTube there is only me and somebody else on YouTube. So I think people have got bored listening to me talking about old television and Philip Schofield, and suddenly it's jumped to 4. We do have a match in the bank pool coming up later on, and it's a match with Real Poland Power Stubb against Bedhead, and it starts in just, well, under 90 minutes time. Friday Night 9-ball will still be going at that time. So Slim has eventually gone through. Let's have a quick update. Slim is now through to play the winner of the match between John Boo and Spectre Dawn, and that match is on a bit of a knife edge. Let's jump in there, because Spectre Dawn has just got to the hill and breaking for the match. Four ball goes in. Nothing doing on that 1 ball. I'll have another quick drink, maybe finish this bottle. I don't know whether Spectre Dawn can see enough of the 3 to get to it where he can cut it onto the, not the 3, the 1 where he can cut it onto the 3. I don't think so. And that'll do as a safety. And that will do even better as a reply. So Spectre Dawn is nailed to the 8. So John Boo getting the 6 ball. He has ball in hand. Now, ball in hand, of course, probably just a little roll through for the 2 into the side. Then he hasn't gone far enough, but the reason I say that is he's coming away from the 3 and he's now left himself dead straight. But all he needs to do is come back a little bit and he'll have the shot in the 5. And he's got a slight angle to come down the left hand side, but he's actually just drawn off it, and that'll work. So we're going all the way in this match. Six apiece. John Boo breaking. And certainly something in top right hand side. I don't know whether that one will squeeze past the 4. Let's have a look. Oh aye, it will. It's tight, but it will go. You've just got to get it clean. The problem is you've got to move the cue ball as well to go on the 2. Now that could have finished a lot worse than that. Is the bank on? Just past the 7 into that left hand corner. No, it isn't. I thought he was sort of lining that up there. But the bank certainly is on now. Oh, just thought it was going to catch the 5 there and go in. And I think not Bankster, John Boo, I think he's got away with this again. Might be an ambitious 1-9 combo here, or a try to nail to the 6. But again, Spectre Dawn's touch is letting him down. Oh, this is going to be nowhere, this cue ball. Now what do you do? Well, I think John Boo has made his mind up a long time ago that it's just going to be all or nothing. You know, he's not turning his nose up at anything, he's just going for it. But if this goes in, this bank, and Spectre Dawn gets decent on the 4, it could be all over. Now, can he miss the 7 ball? He's stuck to the rail. But is he going to miss the 7? He could be playing the bank rather than the cut, because if he plays the cut, I think he's got to catch that 7 ball, and he might not have anything in the 5. Oh, this might work, but the 7 ball might get in the way, and it has done. Well, that's probably as good as he would think he would get on that 5, bar for the fact that the 7 ball's gone over the hole and blocking it. So he's just playing to keep it tight, and that's not bad. Problem here is you can't get the 5 ball out of there. You've just got to try and leave it there, but not leave anything on, and that won't do, I'm afraid. Now you've just got to send that 5 ball in that line to the edge of the 7, and in fact he didn't. It could go. I didn't think it could go. Or maybe I should have looked at that first before looking at the combo. So it's looking very likely John Boo's moving over to that 1 loss side. Got to make sure the cue ball's off the rail on this 8 ball. And that'll do. That's perfect. Just a roll in and a roll through and down this right hand side here. But not in the pocket. Oh dear. Wow. I think that looked in the pocket there. Look at where it's hanging. But it doesn't matter. Spectre Dawn survives again. And off he goes into the hot seat match to see who gets into the final. And it's One Pocket Slim against Spectre Dawn. Quick look over on the one lost side. We've got LS3 playing Vertical Liquid, and it's 2 apiece here. Let's get in there. And Vertical Liquid's getting 6 and out, which again is very dangerous. 5 ball is really tough where it's stuck. Oh, this might be very good. Oh, that's superb. That could not have landed any better. Now, let's have a look at the best way to go about this. Is it just a little dink back? And it's straight up to get to the hill. So Vertical Liquid breaking for the match. And I think breaking dry. But, well, there is a bank on. Problem with the bank is the cue ball's going nowhere near the 2 ball. And the 2 ball's down here at the bottom of the table, so LS3's played the bank with loads of draw to at least get down this end, and it was a good effort. But here is Vertical Liquid's chance. This table is sitting really very good. I mean, every ball is on. Apart really, well, the 8 is on as well, as long as you can get down that side. But the thing about that is Vertical Liquid doesn't need to worry about those balls. He just needs to concentrate on what's there to get him to the 6 ball. And this is the first problem. Cutting this 2 and still having a shot in a 3. Oh, hang on a minute, where's the cue ball? Oh dear. Well, now there's a problem. The 3 goes, and I think you've got it. I don't know whether you can get the cue into this 3 ball just to punch it in and hold this side of the table for the 4. You don't want to be running up the table. And it's tricky when it's that type of shot to just dig in. Oh, that's a good effort, and the cue ball has held pretty well. The 4 is still a fairly straightforward cut. The 5, you've nothing to do with the cue ball. Straight across the table, you're on the 5. Just a little dink in the 4. Now needs an angle. Well, there is a slight angle there, but I don't know whether you can do. I mean, is you content to leave this at distance? That's the question. And the answer to that is yes. So this is the match winner. This straight in 6 ball for a 4-2 win. There it goes. So LS3's been taken down by Vertical Liquid, and the handicap is working out nice tonight for quite a few of the players. So LS3 goes home and Vertical Liquid marches on. Right, we'll now jump straight in to this hot seat match with Spectre Dawn And Slim, it's a scratch match, and we're just completing the first rack, and it's going to be Slim into the early lead. And this is on his own break as well, so he obviously won the lag. Three ball thought of going in, 7 ball has gone. 1 ball is a bit of a dodgy cut. Probably got to cut this and go 2 rails to get right side off the 1 ball, left side off the 1, back out into the table like that. As long as you're not on top of the 8 ball like that. That's the only bad outcome with that shot. Let's have a look. See, this is tricky. Now, you could maybe just try and bump into that 5. I don't think you can avoid it, really. Well, in fact, he's got it clean. And now, it's one of these testy little drop into the side pocket. But you've got to get the cue ball away from there, though, to leave yourself the angle to cut the 4. And he's went all out for it at that pace. And he's got away with it, I think. Well, now you look at it from this angle, behind him, it looks as if the 3 will cut. I think it probably did. Where's the cue ball going? Well, once again, nothing really obvious for Slim here. He could try cutting it back to the bottom left hand corner pocket and running up and around the table. He's gone for the side. And this is not easy either, this pot in the 3 from this angle and this distance. But you would think that you're bound to have a cut on this 4 ball no matter what happens, as long as you get the 3 in. Now, does the 6 ball go from either side? That's the question, and the answer to that is yes, it does. No, there's actually there's another. Well, I'm on YouTube at the moment. I've got YouTube on just to see how much delay there is in the stream. But there's only, according to my numbers, there's only 4 on there. So that's you and me, Simon, and another 2 people. I don't know how many's on Twitch because I don't have any information on Twitch. The one main advantage on Twitch is that the time delay from what I'm seeing to what you're seeing is a little bit shorter. YouTube is approximately about 4 seconds. So we're all square here in the hot seat match. 1 rack apiece. And the yawning started. Looking at the time, it's what? Well, it's 5 to 9. Couple of balls at least in a break. And well, with the hot seat match being played at this time, we are looking at a slightly earlier finish. I think we finished. Did we finish up with 14 in the tournament tonight? I think we did. So just over an hour's time, we'll have that Bankpool World Championship match between Stubb and Bedhead. And Slim, well, the problem Slim's got is, regardless what happens, whether he wins this match or not, he'll still be in the tournament, and then he'll move to the 1-loss side if that happens. and then it's getting down to the nitty gritty near the start time for the match between Bedhead and Stubb. Slim trying to duck away. You know, I don't know that has he got enough cover in that one where I think Spectre Dawn can cut this. There's a possibility he can. It might be touch and go, but then again, don't trust what my eyes see. No, I think maybe the 7 balls more in the way than I thought. Well, he's looking at this. I don't know whether has he got the jump stick out. I think he's looking at a pot here. No, he has got the jump stick now. Well, he had a good go at it. Oh dear. There we go. Ah, Spectre's there. I'm just going to I'll just tab for a second. I'm just doing a quick refresh on my second monitor. Hold on a minute. And I'll count the seconds from when this ball is shot to when you see it. So the ball is being hit now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Christ, it's bloody longer than what I thought. It's about 6 or 7 second delay on YouTube. I thought it was down to 4, and that's after a refresh. But it definitely, I think with great certainty, is going to be a 2-1 lead here for Spectre Dawn. What, his old man left the building? That other guy, Monte Cristo, he did a runner as well. So, rack number 4. I haven't a clue what went into the side. 1 ball it was. 2 ball on. In behind the 4, around the corner behind the 3, and out for the 3. The line there was perfect for that. And when Spectre Dawn gets into these little rolls, suddenly, you know, from 1-all it can end up like, you know, 4-5-1 here. If we start stringing these together. And it was looking like that in that match against LS3. He started off like a freight train, 3-0 up until he started making the mistakes. But he's still on the winner's side with a chance to go straight through to the final again. And he will have daylight. 2-rack lead. So Steve put that notice in the lobby so that when you join the lobby you see the sign-ups for the 8-ball bar table, and it has worked because I think we've got a few more sign-ups. In fact, we'll just have a quick look at that if I can remember how to tab to the lobby. In fact, no, I don't need to. Hang on, let me just see. Right, in fact I will. I will do that. Now, why is that not working now? Ah, that's why, because I've got the bloody thing up on the screen. I'm wondering why I couldn't type the chat. Right, then we do that, and then SB. And then click that link. So the 8-ball World Rules Tournament on the bar table starts on the 22nd of June. So there's another, 3 weeks away before the tournament goes live. Pretty much 3 weeks, give or take a day. But we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 11 in, and we were stuck for about 2 or 3 days there with just 4 in. So that lobby notice has caught a few players' eyes as they join the lobby. So we've got 11 in and plenty of time to get a lot more in. And we had a very good first World Championship on this bar table. So looking forward to this one. Let me just put that back to 30 seconds, and we've just caught Slim pinching one back, and a ball has gone in, and that well, that 2-ball has just gotten away. The 1-ball was a cut. I don't know that he wants to be risking trying to play the combo, because he can bank this though. Well, I think no prizes for guessing what Spectre Don's going to be having a go at here, because this looks pretty good for the bank. I need to switch it back to the room. But he's overdone it. Again, he's not left anything on though. Well, this time it's Slim's chance to play a poor safety. I don't know whether he was trying to roll behind and finish behind the 3, but he's overhit it. And he's given Spectre Don a free go. Now, albeit he's left himself absolutely bolt straight on the 2. But he's managed to get it to spin out. And there's a result through. John Boo marches on again. He's through against Serganesh, 4 racks to 2. And talking of 4 racks to 2, that's what the score's about to be in about 45 seconds time. Well, the UK Open's now down to the business end of the tournament, and I think that's all the free live coverage over on YouTube. So if you want to see any more of it over the weekend, because it's getting to the quarterfinals and that sort of stuff, then you'll have to find a good stream unless you've got Sky TV. And I can guarantee I can find a good stream. Well, 4 ball nudges the 8 and goes in. But Spectre Dawn is hampered right over the top of the 2. And that was the only thing there, is the fact that he couldn't really do an awful lot to control the cue ball. So Slim has a chance, but Slim's also got a problem. And that's the problem right there in front of him. That's 7 ball. And the question is how is he going to deal with it? Well, the one way to deal with it is to leave himself an angle in that 5 ball a bit like that, where, or maybe a bit shallower than that, where he's either going to just roll the 5 in dead and finish on the short side, because the 7 goes in the other side, or whether he's looking for a bump. Well, clearly now he's just going to finish on the short side, and that should be good. Yeah, that's fine. He's brushing the 8, but he's brushing it with a nice angle. So now what he should be doing is getting up the table. I don't know that he wants to play this 9 from this side. I would still get up the table, even if it's long. I'd much rather play it clean into a pocket than past that side pocket. If you can draw it with a bit of bottom and angle, it needs to watch the side pocket though. Oh dear. Disaster. And that's a big 2 rack swing there. And suddenly it's 5-2. I never saw Lazowski playing, but I presume he's no longer in the tournament. Yeah, that was just to get a bit of publicity there. I noticed watching some of Jason Shaw's match earlier on tonight that the crowd looked a bit sparse in that arena. I don't think they've been selling many daytime tickets. I mean, it'll obviously be a lot busier at the. Well, when you think about it, if they're doing a free live stream on YouTube, then why pay? You know, I think it's the prices aren't that bad for like an all-day ticket and that, but it's obviously it'll be more expensive over the weekend. But maybe a lot of those tickets are sold over the weekend. It'll be a lot busier for the business end of the tournament. Well, I think the one thing you're not going to get in these in a billiard tournament of any description is casual public. It's connoisseurs and players of the game that you're going to get watching it. But certainly, if I lived local I'd be at it. So Slim, with a little bit of work to do here to stay in the match. It's held down in London, I think. Can't remember what the arena's called. Steve mentioned it the other day. I think it holds like 7,000 or something. But of course, it's all split into sections with all the multiple tables that are there. Well, that's one way of finishing the rack quick. Oh, I thought the 9 was going in. So Slim back to within 2. And trying to be cocky there with a little dink across for the 9. But it's dry, I think. I saw that, Slim. Now, the only way you'd have been a proper numpty there is if you'd a bit more pace in that the cue ball followed the 9 in. Then you'd look a right numpty. Oh, fruitcakes arrived in the room. God help us. Well, it's as good a table as anything to get to the hill for Spectre Dawn here. Even I would fancy running this out. Well, the high run in the Virtual World Snooker Championships is still 128 by Mal. His Eric was the one player who got himself into a great position in his last match where he could have topped that high run. He had got to 110. He potted the blue, the first ball in the final 6 colours, and he potted it into one of the baulk corner pockets and needed to run through to the top rail and back out past baulk so that he could get in the green. And then he did what I did when I was on my 147 in VP3. He left himself square in the baulk line and he snookered himself in the green. And it could have been a total clearance of 137, but it stalled in 110 when he snookered himself in the green. Did exactly what I did. So Mal is still in line for the $1,000 prize that I'm putting up to the player with the highest break. And as I said in my last stream, Mal probably doesn't even know there's a prize. He's never around. But I'll still be surprised if that stays the high run. Well, I think Slim better get ready for John Boo or whoever in that one loss side, because if this 4 ball goes in and Spectre Dawn gets himself on the 5, which is very likely, oh, he's hung the 4, commentator's curse, and Slim lives again. But this is tricky because again the 4's right in the pocket, and you've got to get this cue ball out and right over to this left side, and that's well played. and that's as good as you could expect to get on that 5. My highest break, it was about, in snooker, it was, I think it was 60 something. It was, I mean, I was never a great snooker player, but I'm sure it was like 60 odd or something, and that wasn't a good day. I never made centuries at snooker. In fact, I did like a lot of players did. I started off in the pub table, and I played pub table pool, which was the reds and yellows back in the day. That's where I started. And it wasn't a snooker club. The club was actually up the stairs, believe it or not. Downstairs was actually an arcade in the front. You know, you had the one-armed bandits, as we would call them. And then through the back, you had 3 snooker tables and about, I'm guessing, 5 or 6 pool tables. Well, that's where I spent a lot of time, and then I eventually got a membership of no, not that. The red and yellows were on a 6-foot pool table, and then I got a membership in the snooker club up the stairs. But it's long since gone. Well, this is a tricky little cut, but he's not. Well, again, has he done? I don't think he's played that right. I think, can Slim see any of that? No, he can't. He can't get to that too. Well, he's dinking up here for a little tiny jump. Yeah, he's got it, and he's finished half decent on the 3. Clinging on by his fingertips here, Slim. A little roll through. Wrong side, of course, of the 5. Now, he can stun down onto the rail there with a wee bit of left to go that way. He just played it thin, plain ball, because he managed to find his way around behind the 8. Well, we've got the FA Cup final tomorrow between Man City and Man United. That should be an event. And then normally in all my years of watching football, the Scottish Cup final and the FA Cup final were all at the same time. But the Scottish Cup final's at 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. And I haven't seen BBC Scotland advertising it, so presumably it's exclusive to this Viaplay mob, whoever they are. But I'll find a stream for it. Celtic going for the treble again against Inverness, Caledonian Thistle. Celtic, of course, odds-on favourite, but anything can happen in a cup final. And no doubt Man City will be the favourites for tomorrow. Well, there was talk yesterday about it, and you know, he's saying nothing obviously, but a bit like Brendan Rodgers, clubs like that from London can come up with a big a big pave check for Postecoglou, and I don't think he'll turn his nose up at it. I'd be very surprised if he does. You know, it's the ambition of all of these managers to have a Premiership club, and I reckon. Well, hang on a minute here. Slim's just committed Harry Carey, and I think this time that's one error too many. I'll tell you something, when Brendan Rodgers left Celtic, I was hoping and praying that Martin O'Neill would come back. That's what I was hoping at the time. Because when they announced Postecoglou, the first thing I thought, like everybody else, is, who the hell is this guy? But I would have Martin O'Neill back at Celtic Park at the drop of a hat, definitely. Well, Spectre Dawn yet again into the final. One pocket Slim moves across. Now there is 40 minutes to go until that match with Stubb and Bedhead in the Bankpool World Championships. So now Spectre Dawn can go and have a coffee or whatever, because he's going to have a wait. We've now got Slim over in the semi-final. We've got John Boo still waiting on the outcome of this match between Vertical Liquid and Old Man Bob. So let's nip in there, although having said that, we're in the final rack of this, and Vertical Liquid is getting the last two, and of course that's exactly what it means. Whatever the last two balls are, the 9 ball is going to be one of them. He just needs to pot either of them and he'll win the rack. Well, he tried to bunt the 4 down onto the 8, didn't get there. Martin O'Neill, I would think he's 60 odd anyway, at least. But anyway, I still think he was a great manager. Took Celtic to the, what the hell final was it, against Porto. UEFA Cup final. And I'm sure it was him that brought Henrik Larsson. No, it wasn't. It was, who was the one before him that got Henrik Larsson? He was the best bargain buy Celtic ever got. Well, Old Man Bob. Well, that 7 ball, I'd certainly want to get onto it into the side like that. That's perfect. Well, Old Man Bob's going to survive. But he'll be up against John Boo next. As long as you don't follow the 9 in that, of course. No risk of that happening. So on marches Old Man Bob and Vertical Liquid. Your time's up this week. So now, the only other matter to resolve, or the other 2 matters, is this match that he has against John Boo, and then of course the winner playing One Pocket Slim in the semi-final to see who plays Spectre Dawn in the final. And we're just waiting in the room going up. I'll get myself in there straight away and I'll open my bottle and have another drink. Right, John Boo on the right, not hanging about, straight on with the lag. And Bob, well, that didn't even get to the 50-yard line. So, old man Bob's still getting last two. 5 ball into the side. What was that? 4 ball went into the left side. And the 8 ball followed. Well, that 2 ball cuts past the 3. It's got to be real flush, because if it catches the 3 it won't go in, but I'm pretty certain it goes. But it's got to be really clean, and it's caught the 3. And Bob has a straight in shot pretty much. Well, in this case, last 2 will be the 7 and the 9 ball. So just the 7 ball needs to go in. So this is just a little dink on the 6. Well, you see, he went for the up and down and punched it more than anything. And he's got away with it. Well, that's interesting. What have we got now? I think it goes. Yeah, it does. So, well, he's left enough out there just to catch the edge. So Bob's chance has come and gone twice in the space of a minute there. John Boo, fairly straight roll in the 9 for a 1-0 lead. As I presume, I mean, Martin O'Neill he's not in football at the moment, is he? I don't think he's with it. He's not with any club that are certainly any of the main clubs. I don't think he is. He obviously quit Celtic because his wife, I think, had cancer and was undergoing treatment. And I don't know that he's actually involved in the game. That'll be an easy starter for Bob. He's 71. Well, that's still a young man in the manager's game. But Bob hasn't come out far enough for that 2 ball. Oh, hang on a minute. Cue ball's gone. I didn't think Roy Hodgson was as old as that. Yeah, I mean, they're all, you know, all the sort of old-time managers are getting on a bit. But as I said, you know, if Postecoglou left and if Martin O'Neill was interested and I was Celtic, I would be I'd been opening his door, giving him first shout. He'd be welcome back with open arms, I'll tell you that. So John Boot 2-0 in front. No, I don't think Celtic would have him back. I think they'd be looking to. Well, that's the other thing as well. That getting Postecoglou was a move in a completely different direction. Nobody that we'd ever heard of. I mean, there has been. I mean, Billy McNeil was manager at Celtic twice, but no, I don't think they'd go down that road. I think I'm more nostalgic for the fact that I just liked Martin O'Neill as a manager. I think I'm more nostalgic for that. I think the likelihood of that happening is fairly slim. But I think there's more likely Martin O'Neill coming back, I think, than that Neil Lennon ever will. Well, John Boo could have done something better to get on this 9, but it's a cut into the side. Yeah, always a bit tricky. And Bob has a not too difficult cut in the 9. Just got to watch what he's doing with the cue ball. So he's off and running. Well, I wonder what the new camp's going to look like once they've finished this massive upgrade they're doing to it. Barcelona are out of the new camp for at least the next 2 years, while renovation work is going on at the new camp stadium now. I can't believe it's to make it any bigger. It might be to make it a bit smaller, I don't know. But whatever they're doing, it won't be costing a couple of quid. I'll tell you that. It'll be a good few 100 million euros. But goodness knows what it's going to look like when they're done. But the fact that the team's moving out for 2 years, it's major renovation work they're doing on it. I think it used to hold 110,000. I don't think it holds that now. But it's some crazy looking stadium. But this cue ball's tracking nice for the 6, so Bob, remember, only needs this 8 ball to follow up here to square the match. We've got a match on, even though it's only a race to 4. Don't see anything going in though. I didn't hear anything. This is a table that again is crying out to be run out, but I think that John Boo is going to have to get the jump stick to stay at the table. Well, if it had ran another inch or 2, he'd have been very nice on this 3 ball. That was not the best safety shot in the world. I think he was obviously trying to miss the first collision there to try and lock that 3 ball away. But straight away he's back at the table. Sitting Pretty nice in the four, just a little kill shot. Now I'd just be tweaking this a little. The only danger's that right side pocket. See, he's gone straight up. And that nudge in the sevens put him a bit too straight on the six. Well, it's nowhere near set as a combo. That was well played. Where's the cue ball going? He's fine. So, John Boo just got to get this cue ball into the table anywhere left side, and he'll be one away from the semi-final with Slim. Oh dear. The commentator's curse raises its ugly head again. Well, you know, Barcelona have got a huge membership, raking in fortunes with sponsorship deals, the money they get from the Champions League. So they're not poor, put it that way. And of course, an almighty wage bill. Astronomical wage bill. Well, John Boo can see an edge of the one. Well, again, the outcome's not too bad, but it's just an edge of that three ball that you have to. Can he get this clean? I don't think he can, but you can just jump over the edge of that if you practice your jump shots well enough. I couldn't say that I'd managed to execute this because I don't practice anything with the jump cue. Now, this is going to roll right over the pocket. Where's Messi playing at the moment? Is he not over in... Where the hell is he? He's not over in the States. Is he not in one of the... He's not in Saudi Arabia or something like that? Because he'll be getting paid an absolute fortune for being there. I don't know where he is. Or was he at Paris Saint-Germain? Aye, that's right, that's right. Or Paris Saint-Germain, as I would say. I mean, he's retiring anyways, you know it. No. Yeah, retired from internationals yet. Well, he retired in the high anyway. And of course he's got an absolute fortune. So football's done well for him. I mean, I still tell you guys to go to YouTube and go and see if you can catch that video of the goals that Messi was scoring when he first started playing. You want to see some of the goals. Absolutely incredible stuff. Never seen anything like it in my life. So there we go. Old man Bob from 2-0 down comes through and beats John Boot 4 racks to 2. So it's old man Bob versus old man Slim in the semi-final. And no doubt Bob is going to be getting a handful against Slim. Very, very dangerous in a race to 4. So Bob on the right hand side, Slim on the left, and Bob is getting 7 and out. And it looks as if Slim's going to win it. The lag, that is. Well, one thing's for certain, that if Slim comes through this and gets to the final, he's then got a bit of a dilemma, because there's no way on earth that the final is going to be played and finished before 10 o'clock. I mean, this match is still to be over, and we're already between 20 and 9:45 here. Reverse bank on the 4 ball into this bottom left hand corner pocket, or cut back, or whatever way you describe it. Well, Slim, what I was thinking is that if you're in the final, right, then I was thinking that if you're in the final of Friday Night 9 Ball, I could cover the start of the Bedhead Stump match until you come in, and then I'll bail out. And I'll just ignore you guys in the final. And all I'll do is just keep a tab and keep an eye on the score on the final. Or jump back and forth between the two. Obviously you can't jump back and forth between the final and your match. But as soon as your match is finished and you get yourself into the room, then I can quit and go to bed. Well, I don't think it's worth doing it, seeing as you've got yourself into the final. Anyway, whatever you want to do, I'm not bothered either way. Uh-oh. Well, that's an umpty shot of the night. Potting a ball and falling it in. And Slim's just having a go at everything. And getting lucky, I think. Well, I thought he'd covered that. I think he could see enough on it to pot it. So all you do is tuck that one ball along towards the 7 and come back down this left side. But he's having a capo type game where he's just going for stuff, trying his best to lose this. Good evening to Chimpy. So the bedhead stub match starts in just under 15 minutes time. Race to 6 in the Bank Pool World Championships. So somehow or other, Slim has found himself winning this first rack. Yes, it is. Well, break's dry. Bob can have a kick at the one, I think. Had a kick, didn't get a hit. Ball in hand. I'm on my last legs now. I think I'm going to have to turn my fan on because I'm beginning to boil here. Let's just get that powered up. I need a little bit of air movement. Well, that's a bit better. So Slim 2-1 in the lead. Bob with a wide open table. And running into the 9s. Left him awkward over the 6. And awkward cutting the 2, which he gets. A little brush off the 6, which was handy. And 3 ball is tightish. Cue ball running loose, and in it goes. Slim having a go at the 5-9 now. Is he playing it on the side or is he playing it up table? Looks like up table. And that was well done. So 1 away from the final. Hang on a wee minute till I tab to the lobby. Just a sec. I want to go up to that link that Slim was posting. Well, Bob's got a good table here to get to that 7 ball, but he's going to have to run this cue ball now, and that isn't running it. I think he should have dug in and come back the way, but he's still got a thin cut, but up and down again. But the pace is not that great, but I think he's still okay though. I mean, get the cut, not quite as hard as he played the last one, and he'll be on the 7. And he's gone to the rail too soon. Now, Slim can't get between the 7 and the rail. And, well, the line is there behind the 8 ball. That's not it though. So Bob, ball in hand, to get another one back. Oh dear, that's poor. I mean, well, a good recovery, but he scratched. You know, how is it that players can't see the obvious? That's what always puzzles me. Doing silly things. And he's gifted it to Slim at the end of it. So Slim is through to the final. Now he has a decision to make, because he's now got a revenge match on with Spectre Dawn, and he's only got 6 minutes to get it complete in a race to 9 to get set for covering the match between Bedhead and Stubb. So he's still not live on Twitch. Now the room is up. Well, he's now live, as you can hear. Why am I not seeing his live stream? Hang on. That's it. There we are. So, what's I presume he's talked to Spectre Dawn, so I don't know whether he's going to play or not. And of course, anybody who's still watching here, scroll up the lobby chat and go to Slim's channel to catch that match with Bedhead and Stubb. I'll watch it tomorrow when I get home. And still nobody in the room, but Spectre Dawn's going to have to go in it to get the tournament complete, and also of course to avoid a toss of a coin in the final. In fact, the sooner he gets in, the sooner the thing completes anyway, rather than hanging about to eventually go in the room. Right, let's see. That's the thing with the external browser, it doesn't come. I've got it in dark mode on the normal YouTube, not on the internal browser, because I don't know how you bloody well do it in this. I don't think you can. It wants me to log in, but I'm not logging in. So he's got 2.5 minutes until he's live. And I still don't see anybody in the room. Now is Spectre Dawn going to stay out the room and just let it go in the toss of a coin? What's happening? Oh, he's in. So Spectre Dawn's in, and then it's going to time out after 5 minutes. And as soon as it times out, then I'm done for the night. I'll catch maybe the first. I'll be lucky if I catch the first couple of racks in it before I really go to bed. We will see. Now, what one is Stub and what one is Bedhead? Is Bedhead the 9 ball on the right? Stub on the left? Well, I think it looks like Slim's in the room. And Slim has conceded the match. So, well done to Spectre Dawn. Another Friday night 9 ball win, albeit far too easy. So, that is Friday night 9 ball done, folks. You've now got still a couple of minutes before that room goes up. So, anybody who wants to watch the match and can stay up to watch it, then get yourself headed over to Twitch on the external browser, of course, and just type in One Pocket Slim. But you should already be a subscriber, so that when you do go to Twitch, you'll see him live in the left-hand panel, and you can watch the match. I'm going to finish the stream here tonight and nip over and catch the start of it. So thanks for joining, chaps. I've got a big match on Sunday night, and I've totally forgotten who's playing, but I think it's Albinario and Cobra in the bank pool. I think who will end up playing the winner of this match that's on tonight. I think that's right, and that's at 7:30 on Sunday night. So until then, or any other time we might meet again, thank you for watching, and I'll bid you good night.